Hello everyone, let me show you right off the bat how to navigate the foundational orientation of our core textbook. When you look at the official study guide, the standard is formally structured as a comprehensive framework defining performance domains, phases, and governance practices required to successfully manage complex programs. Now, in very simple words, think of the official study guide as a master builder's instruction manual or blueprint handbook for constructing a skyscraper, giving you every structural rule and safety code you need so the building doesn't collapse under pressure. Think of it like this. I remember when I first picked up the program standard years ago before my own PgMP exam, I felt like I was staring at a massive complex foreign map without a compass. But once I realized it was just organized into clean logical sections like performance domains and life cycle phases, everything clicked into place. Don't worry, we'll take it slow as we decode its layout. Let's dive into the core engine rooms of the standard, the performance domains. According to the official study guide, performance domains represent broad areas of focus and activity that are critical for achieving the desired program outcomes, spanning strategy, governance, life cycle, benefits, and stakeholder engagement. In very simple words, think of performance domains as the 5 vital organs of a human body: your heart, lungs, brain, liver, and kidneys, where every single one of them must work together seamlessly to keep the entire body alive and healthy. Think of it like this. I once consulted for an engineering firm where the program manager focused entirely on schedule milestones, completely ignoring stakeholder engagement and benefits realization. Guess what happened? The project outputs were delivered on time, but the users refused to adopt the system because nobody cared about their input. The program failed because only one organ was functioning. Stay with me for a moment because mastering these interlocked domains is your ultimate key to passing the panel review. So, now that we've mastered how performance domains keep our program alive, you might be wondering how the program lifecycle maps out our journey from start to finish. Well, that brings us right into our next step. Now watch how this connects directly to the program lifecycle and its distinct chronological phases. The official study guide states that the program lifecycle consists of 3 major sequential phases: program definition, program delivery, and program closure, designed to ensure continuous value delivery over time. In very simple words, think of the program lifecycle like baking a multi-layered wedding cake. First, you plan the recipe and gather your ingredients, that is program definition. Second, you bake and decorate each delicious layer, that is program delivery. And third, you clean up the kitchen, box up the cake, and hand it over to the happy couple, that is program closure. Think of it like this. I remember managing a massive IT upgrade program where leadership wanted to skip the program definition phase and jump straight into coding deliverables. I had to step in and gently push the brakes, explaining that skipping definition is like building a house without digging a foundation. Once we spent 2 weeks properly defining our benefits and component structure, the delivery phase ran smoother than butter. Let's explore the rules of the road through the standards governance framework. According to the official study guide, program governance establishes the policies, oversight mechanisms, decision-making authorities, and accountability frameworks necessary to guide and control program execution. In very simple words, program governance is just like the referee and the rule book in a professional soccer match. They ensure everyone plays fairly, stays within boundaries, and knows exactly who has the whistle to call a foul or approve a penalty. Think of it like this. Have you ever worked on a team where nobody knew who had the final authority to approve extra spending? Every time you needed money, you had to run in circles asking 5 different managers and everyone said no. That is what happens when governance is broken or missing. When I set up governance for my enterprise clients, my golden rule is absolute clarity. Clear decision makers, clear escalation paths, and zero office politics. Stay with me for a moment because once you grasp this governance mindset, leading executive steering committees becomes second nature. So, now that we've mastered how governance keeps our program stable and compliant, You might be wondering how benefits realization ties all these standard elements together. Let's talk about the ultimate goal of the entire standard benefits realization management. The official study guide emphasizes that benefits realization is the core driver of the standard, focusing on identifying, tracking, and transitioning program outcomes into sustained business value. In very simple words, benefits realization means making sure that all the hard work, money, and sweat we put into our components actually results in something useful that makes the company better off than before. Think of it like planting a fruit tree in your backyard. You don't water and prune it just for the fun of watching leaves grow. You do it because you want fresh, sweet fruit to eat every season. Let me share a quick workplace story with you. I once audited a digital transformation program where the team built a gorgeous customer feedback portal. It looked amazing, but nobody monitored whether customers actually used it, and the company's customer satisfaction scores didn't budge an inch. We had outputs but zero realized benefits. We had to pivot, train the staff, and market the portal until customers started using it daily. That is when the real magic of the standard kicked in. We have arrived at the final stretch of our orientation journey, and let's tie it all together with a winning exam strategy. The official study guide highlights that exam success requires you to view the standard not as an academic rule book to memorize, but as a practical problem-solving toolkit for complex enterprise challenges. In very simple words, this means whenever you face a tricky scenario question on the exam, you should never guess based on what feels fast or easy. Instead, ask yourself, what would the standard's governance, life cycle, or benefits framework advise me to do right now? Think of it like playing a musical instrument. Once you learn how to read the notes on the sheet music, you can improvise and play any song with total confidence. And in the next chapter, we're going to talk about organizational agility and strategic agility basics.